Hey guys, welcome back to Ace Recaps. Today I'm going to be explaining a 2020 horror mystery film titled The Maid. The story revolves around an adorable little maid who comes to serve a luxurious family due to unforeseen circumstances. But soon, she's haunted by the spirit of a previous maid who's trying to convey a secret message about the family. The ending will shock you. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie starts off as we watch a live-in maid put Lady Nid to sleep and wander around the mansion. The doll she left by the bed is seen following her around and eventually turns into a real monkey and attacks her. The next day, she approaches the homeowner Uma and quits her job. Unable to care for her own daughter, she requests Juan, the family driver, to find them a new maid. That night, as Nid is put to bed, she complains about being haunted by a ghostly woman, but her mom hushes her. She doesn't go to sleep and decides to walk around the house, where she is approached by a spirit wearing a maid's uniform, suggesting something horrid going on in the house. The next day, a doctor is called home who confirms that Nid is suffering from dementia, which causes her to hallucinate. Narak loves his daughter dearly, but the little girl is now forced to be homeschooled and is never allowed to leave the house. A few days go by and we are introduced to Joy. She is an innocent-looking girl who is brought to the house in a fancy car and is now the new maid. She is fascinated by the size and luxuries of her new place of work and is instructed by the other maid, Fawn, to look after the child and to never stick her nose in other people's business. She is shown to her house and is excited to be living there. Her room is better than my entire house, and to be honest, I'm a little jealous. That night, as she's trying on her uniform, she spots someone creepily running up the stairs, and so she goes to check it out but spots no one. Okay, I'm a little less jealous now. Would you guys live in a fancy house if it was haunted? She goes to bed thinking of her previous job where she was harassed by the owner. As she sleeps, she's woken by the evil spirit who shows herself and jumps at her. The next morning, Joy introduces herself to Uma and lies that her previous employers left the country. She takes good care of Lady Nid and adores the child. She puts her to bed by singing her a lullaby and reminisces about the time she had to bid farewell to her older sister. Joy continues to work around the mansion and we see the ghost is now stalking her. She is aware of the spirit and is spooked by it from time to time, but she always brushes it off like it's no big deal. I have no idea how she walks around the house with the weight of her massive balls. As a few days go by, Joy grows very fond of Lady Nid, and after nap time she smirks as though she's up to something horrid, and the little girl wakes up to find the ghost maid right up in her face. Joy continues to snoop around the house, and as she looks through a few books she finds an old hidden picture with the previous maid. The ghost suddenly spooks her too and she runs out horrified. She then spots the evil spirit standing next to Nid, but as she tries to get her out, the door is locked. Lady Nid magically teleports out the room and the both of them wake up Uma to disclose whatever just happened. Joy lies that she found the picture on the floor and questions her about who the other maid is, and Uma says that she used to work there but moved on. She disregards the paranormal activity going on in the house as hallucinations and sends them away. Uma then admires the picture and reminisces about the past. Years ago, before the birth of Nid, they had a maid named Ploy. Narak used to always ignore his gorgeous wife and was busy with work all the time. Due to this, Uma grew lonely and depressed, but Ploy managed to cheer her up. She would make her laugh and they'd even play chess together. As days go by, the both of them even end up in bed together and form a deeper bond. Narak is missing out on a lot, I'd say. In the present, Joy inquiries with the other maids about what really happened with Ploy, but they claim that she just left one day and even disregard her theories about the ghost in the house. The driver Juan tells her that Uma and Ploy got very close and were the best of friends. She was well taken care of, but one fine day she just abandoned the house. Joy overhears Uma yelling at her daughter for drawing two women in bed together, but the little girl insists that it came to her in a dream. Joy then walks into Narak's study like she owns the place and tells him that she spotted a ghost in the corner. He shoos her away and, looking at a picture, recalls his time with Ploy. She used to walk into his study just like Joy did and they used to play chess together. As time went by, he got sick of his wife and grew closer to the maid. One day, she requests to read one of his books and the both of them make love on that very table. By this, we realize that Ploy was a hoe. An inquisitive Joy then goes over to Nid and questions her about the missing maid. Ploy finally shows herself and takes her to the past to show her what really happened. The maid soon got pregnant with Narok's child, and when she told him the news he was excited. He even went over to his wife and tried gaslighting her with the fact that she can't carry a child, and they decided to raise the baby as a part of their family. Ploy is well taken care of by everyone, even though Uma can't stand her now due to the betrayal. As months go by, she gives birth to a beautiful baby girl and they name her Nid. Ploy is still a maid of the house, but she's given her own space to raise the child. One fine day, while preparing a bath for the baby, she slips and smacks her head right on the bathtub. Witnessing this, Joy is in tears. It is revealed that Ploy was in fact her long-lost sister who went missing years ago, and Nid is her niece. When Uma discovers her on the bathroom floor, she just shuts the door without even trying to help her. Even though she loved and served her masters with all her heart, she was discarded like a piece of garbage. The maids were instructed to grab her body and bury it at the back of the mansion. They wrap her in plastic, and as Juan dumps the mud on the poor girl, we see that she's still alive and moving. Everyone spotted this, but Narok instructed them to continue with the burial as he observed his wife with his child. They decide to raise Nid as their own. But at what cost? Joy, with vengeance in her eyes, looks down on Uma and tries to dig up her sister, but in vain, she was already gone. Ploy's soul and Joy sing a song together, remembering their past bond. The next day, Joy goes into the city for her regular mental health checkup, and she claims everything is fine with a smile on her face. It is revealed that the woman stabbed and unalived her previous owners because the man made a move on her. The couple has planned a dinner party that evening for all their friends and family for Uma's birthday. Joy acts totally normal as though nothing ever happened and continues to wear her maid's uniform with pride, planning her secret revenge. All the guests arrive in white clothing and the birthday girl walks down the stairs in a gorgeous dress. In the car, Joy seems to be talking and laughing with the driver Juan, but suddenly pulls out a plastic bag, wraps it around his face and smothers him until he meets Jesus, all with a big grin on her face. Turns out the crazy woman is a serial unaliver after all. While cooking in the kitchen, Joy questions the other maid about her involvement in Ploy's death and ends up tying her to the chair. She plays around with her and we see that she's spiking the drinks of the guests. Fawn is asked to send in the fancy wine, and so she goes outside looking for Joy but comes across the corpse of Juan. Suddenly, she is injected with some sort of poison and the woman soon succumbs to her unalivement. Joy is then seen walking into the party and serving her spiked wine to all the guests with a wide smile on her face. Narok tries to flirt a little with his beautiful wife, but she just acts like a total B as always. Still, the man approaches the stand and gives a grand toast about his loving wife and their beautiful child, even though she isn't even at the party and is locked in her room. Narok then gets a call from his boss and excuses himself from the party. Joy, on the other hand, gladly suits up with her plastic robe and dances around the kitchen making fun of the maid. Suddenly, she slits her throat and red goo splashes all over her face. She cleans herself up, goes back to the party and informs Uma that everything is going according to plan. She then heads upstairs and covers Nid's ears with a pair of headphones so she doesn't have to listen to what's about to come. Even though this party is held in honor of Uma, she doesn't seem to enjoy the company and heads back to her room. The guests start feeling the effects of the drug, and just then, Joy enters the scene in a grand fashion and starts poking everybody in the room with a knife, unaliving them and smirking all the way. She has the time of her life watching everyone just leak out all their fluids. I get unaliving the couple and the maids, but why the guests? Uma is now also feeling the effects of the drug, and that's when Joy approaches her from the back. She claims that Ploy wrote letters to her sister, but she never had the time to send them out. She agrees that she lied about her leaving the house and that she's even seen her family photos. Oh my God, why would you hire the sister of the person you buried in your backyard? As the effects of the drug get stronger, Uma uses all her remaining energy to try and strangle the serial unaliver, but in vain. She gets pricked in the neck multiple times and is punished in the same fashion her sister was. As she's about to leave the planet forever, she reminisces about the time spent with her baby, even though she was cruel AF to her. On the other hand, Narok receives some bad news from his boss. He is drunk and annoyed, but just then the drug kicks in. This is quite some timing, to be honest. The lights in the house go off and Joy is seen dancing around holding a knife. In his confused state, he spots Ploy and chases after her. She leads him downstairs where he comes across all the slaughtered guests. As he walks out of the house, with flames going haywire in the background, Ploy approaches him with a smile on her face. His excitement turns to horror when he realizes that it's Joy and she ends up poking and unaliving the man. The movie ends as we watch Joy lead her niece outside the house and crying that all of it is finally over. Would you guys ever avenge your family in such a fashion? That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.